Train your mind to win in every situation because life does not reward talent alone. It rewards mental strength. Every single day, you are placed in situations that test your patience, confidence, discipline, and belief. Most people lose not because they are weak, but because their mind is untrained. And what nobody tells you is this: the mind can either be your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. Think about this for a moment. Two people face the same problem. One gives up. The other grows stronger. The situation is the same. The difference is the mindset. Winning in life has less to do with circumstances and everything to do with how you think when pressure arrives. If you master your mind, no situation can break you. Most people live on autopilot. They react instead of responding. They panic instead of planning. They complain instead of controlling their thoughts. But winners do something different. Winners train their mind daily, just like athletes train their bodies. They build mental discipline, emotional control, and unshakable focus. Your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you tell yourself life is unfair, your mind looks for proof. If you tell yourself you are capable, your mind finds solutions. This is not motivation. This is neuroscience. Thoughts become habits. Habits become behavior. Behavior becomes destiny. Winning in every situation does not mean you never fail. It means you never lose control. Failure becomes feedback. Pressure becomes power. Fear becomes fuel. When your mind is trained, every challenge upgrades you instead of destroying you. One of the strongest skills you can develop is emotional control. The world is designed to trigger you. People will doubt you. Situations will delay you. Results will test your patience. But the moment you react emotionally, you give away your power. Calm minds dominate chaotic situations. Discipline is another weapon of winners. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. You do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. You show up tired. You work when no one is watching. You stay consistent when results are invisible. That is how minds are trained. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is quiet preparation. When you know you have trained your mind, you walk differently. You speak differently. You act differently. You don't chase validation because you trust your process. Every successful person you admire faced moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. The difference is they refuse to let those moments control them. They train their mind to focus on solutions, not excuses. Progress, not perfection. If you want to win in every situation, start with self-awareness. Notice your thoughts. Question negative patterns. Replace weakness with intention. Growth begins the moment you stop blaming and start taking responsibility for your mindset. Remember this: your environment shapes you, but your mindset defines you. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond, and that response determines whether you rise or remain stuck. Winning is a daily decision. It is choosing discipline over comfort, focus over distraction, growth over fear. When you train your mind consistently, life starts responding differently to you. If this message is helping you reprogram your thinking, stay connected. Subscribe to the Motivational Audiobook Spot for more powerful audiobooks that train your mindset, build discipline, and unlock your full potential. Share this with someone who needs mental strength today, and remember, when you control your mind, you win every situation. Train your mind to win in every situation with this powerful motivational audiobook, designed to build mental strength, focus, confidence, and discipline. Success in life is not about luck or talent alone. It's about mindset. When you learn how to control your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, no challenge can defeat you. This motivational audiobook will help you develop unbreakable mental strength, stay calm under pressure, build discipline and consistency, overcome fear, doubt, and negativity, win in life, career, and personal growth. Every situation in life tests your mindset. Winners respond with clarity, while others react with fear. This audiobook trains your brain to think like a winner, even in the hardest moments. Listen daily to reprogram your mind for success, confidence, and inner power. Perfect for morning motivation, focus sessions, studying, working, or self-improvement routines. Your mind is listening to you all the time. Every word you say to yourself becomes an instruction. When you wake up and think, "This is going to be a hard day," your brain prepares for struggle. When you think, "I can handle whatever comes," your brain prepares for solutions. This is why training your mind is not optional. It is essential. Most people wait for confidence before they take action. Winners do the opposite. They take action first, and confidence follows. Confidence is built through repetition, through showing up, through doing uncomfortable things consistently. The mind learns courage by experience, not by waiting. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is a signal. It tells you that growth is near. The problem is not fear itself, but the meaning you give to it. An untrained mind sees fear as danger. A trained mind sees fear as a challenge. One runs away, the other moves forward. You don't need perfect conditions to win. You need a prepared mind. Life will never be fully ready for you. There will always be uncertainty, always resistance, always reasons to quit. But when your mind is trained, excuses lose their power. Focus is one of the most valuable skills you can build. The world is designed to distract you. Notifications, opinions, comparisons, noise. Every distraction weakens your mental energy. Every moment of focus strengthens it. What you focus on grows. Choose wisely. Mental toughness is built in silence, in early mornings, in late nights, in moments when no one is watching and quitting would be easy. These moments shape your identity. You become what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally feel inspired to do. Stop negotiating with weakness. Every time you argue with your own discipline, you lose momentum. Winners decide once and act daily. They don't debate with excuses. They move forward even when motivation is low. Your past does not control your future unless you allow it. Mistakes are lessons, not labels. Failures are training sessions, not life sentences. A trained mind learns, adjusts, and continues. Pressure reveals who you are becoming. When pressure breaks you, it shows where growth is needed. When pressure sharpens you, it shows your progress. Either way, pressure is a teacher. Remember this: calm is power. Clarity is power. Consistency is power. When you master your internal world, the external world begins to align. If you stay committed to training your mind, there will come a moment when challenges that once scared you no longer do. Situations that once controlled you will lose their grip. And that is when you realize you didn't just survive life, you learned how to win in every situation. Your environment constantly tries to shape your thinking. News, social media, opinions, and comparison quietly program your mind every day. If you don't choose what enters your mind, the world will choose for you. And most people never realize how much this affects their confidence, focus, and decisions. A trained mind protects its energy. It knows when to listen and when to disconnect. It chooses silence over noise, growth over comfort, progress over approval. You cannot win every situation if your mind is always overloaded. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is self-talk awareness. Pay attention to the voice in your head. Is it supportive or destructive? Encouraging or limiting? You would never speak harshly to someone you care about, yet many people speak to themselves with constant doubt. Change that voice, and you change your reality. Consistency is the quiet force behind every success story. Not talent, not luck, just showing up again and again. The mind learns trust through consistency. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows stronger. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. When life becomes chaotic, habits carry you forward. That's why winners build routines that support focus, discipline, and mental clarity. Stress is not always the problem. Uncontrolled thinking is. Most stress comes from imagining outcomes that haven't happened yet. A trained mind stays present. It handles what is in front of it, not what might happen later. Patience is a skill, not a personality trait. Results take time. Growth takes repetition. Many people quit right before progress becomes visible. A trained mind understands delayed gratification. It stays committed even when rewards are slow. Winning in every situation does not mean always being in control of outcomes. It means always being in control of effort, attitude, and response. That is real power. Your standards define your future. What you tolerate becomes normal. Raise your standards for your thoughts, actions, and discipline. Expect more from yourself, and life will meet you at that level. Remember, the strongest people are not those who never struggle. They are the ones who refuse to stay stuck. They learn. They adapt. They keep moving forward. At some point, training your mind stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like identity. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You are no longer chasing confidence. You move with confidence. This is when everything changes. Your identity is shaped by what you repeatedly do, not by what you occasionally promise yourself. When discipline becomes normal, success becomes predictable. When focus becomes your default, distractions lose their power. You begin to trust yourself. Not because life is easy, but because you know you can handle difficulty. You don't fear uncertainty anymore. You respect it. You understand that challenges are part of the path, not signs to stop. Winning in every situation does not mean always being ahead. It means never being defeated internally. It means staying calm when things go wrong, staying focused when progress is slow, staying consistent when motivation is gone. A trained mind chooses long-term growth over short-term comfort. It understands that every small disciplined action is a vote for the future you want, and those votes add up. There will be days when you feel tired, days when doubt whispers in your ear, days when quitting feels tempting. On those days, remember this: discipline is not about feeling strong, it is about acting strong. You are not here by accident. You are capable of more than you have been taught to believe. The moment you commit to training your mind daily, you separate yourself from the majority who live reactively. This audiobook is not just something you listen to, it is something you practiced. And if you continue to practice, your mindset will continue to evolve. If this message helped you think clearer, feel stronger, and believe deeper, stay connected. Subscribe to the Motivational Audiobook Spot for more powerful motivational audiobooks that build discipline, focus, confidence, and mental strength. Share this with someone who needs to train their mind today. Remember this always: when your mind is trained, no situation can control you. You don't just survive life. You win in every situation. There is a moment when you realize the world hasn't changed, but you have. Situations still arrive, pressure still exists, uncertainty still shows up. The difference is your response. You pause, you breathe, you choose clarity over chaos. That is the mark of a trained mind. Mental strength is not loud confidence. It is quiet certainty. It is knowing that no matter how things unfold, you will adapt. You will learn. You will continue. When your mind is stable, external storms lose their intensity. Growth requires solitude at times, not loneliness, but intentional distance from noise. The strongest thinkers spend time reflecting, planning, and resetting their focus. Silence sharpens awareness. Awareness strengthens control. Your daily inputs shape your future outputs. What you listen to, what you watch, what you repeat to yourself. Protect your mental diet. Feed your mind with purpose, discipline, and direction. Starve it of negativity and distraction. Energy follows intention. When you wake up with a clear purpose, your actions align naturally. You don't need to force motivation. You move because you've decided who you are becoming. Pressure will always try to rush you. A trained mind refuses to hurry into poor decisions. It values patience. It understands timing. It chooses progress over impulse. You start measuring success differently, not by applause, not by comparison, but by internal alignment. Did you act with discipline? Did you stay focused? Did you grow today? These questions build real confidence. Every situation becomes practice. Calm in conflict, focus in noise, discipline in fatigue. This is how winning becomes a lifestyle, not an event. And as this mindset deepens, others will notice. Not because you speak louder, but because you stand firmer. Your presence becomes grounded. Your decisions become cleaner. Your path becomes clearer. Continue training your mind, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Because the moments that test you are the moments that transform you. Leadership begins internally. Before you can lead situations, results, or people, you must lead your thoughts. A trained mind does not wait for permission to act responsibly. It holds itself to higher standards, even when no one is watching. True strength is calm authority, not control over others, but control over self. When your emotions are stable, your decisions become clear. When your decisions are clear, people trust your direction, whether you realize it or not. Success introduces a new challenge: comfort. Many people fail after they start winning because they relax their discipline. A trained mind understands that consistency built the results, and consistency must maintain them. Ego is one of the quietest destroyers of progress. It convinces you that you've arrived, that effort is no longer required. Growth stops the moment ego takes control. Humility keeps the mind sharp. Curiosity keeps it growing. When things are going well, keep training. When things are difficult, train harder. Discipline is not seasonal. It is a lifestyle. You don't turn it on and off. You live it. The ability to stay grounded in success is just as important as staying strong in struggle. Both require awareness. Both require intention. Both require mental discipline. A trained mind welcomes responsibility instead of avoiding it. Responsibility creates freedom. The more you take ownership of your actions, reactions, and standards, the less power external circumstances have over you. Long-term success is built quietly. Daily routines, clear priorities, non-negotiable habits. You don't need to do everything. You need to do the right things consistently. At this stage, growth becomes refinement, sharper focus, cleaner decisions, deeper patience. You are no longer chasing results. You are building mastery. And mastery is not about domination. It is about alignment. When your thoughts, actions, and values move in the same direction, life begins to feel purposeful. Continue forward with this mindset. Protect it, practice it, strengthen it daily. Because a trained mind doesn't just win moments, it wins lifetimes. Peak performance begins with mastery over your energy, not just your time. Most people manage hours. Winners manage focus, mental energy, and physical vitality. A trained mind knows when to push, when to pause, and when to recharge. Every decision is optimized for clarity and results. Your morning routine sets the tone for the day. Discipline in the first hour translates into discipline in the rest of your life. Meditation, planning, and reflection prime your brain to think strategically instead of reactively. Small, consistent rituals compound into massive outcomes. High-level productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Eliminate distractions ruthlessly. Protect your time like it's gold, because it is. Focused attention is the currency of winners. Every task executed with full presence multiplies your results exponentially. Momentum is built in micro steps. Wins, even small ones, signal your mind that progress is real. This builds confidence, reinforces habits, and strengthens resilience. The more consistent you are, the easier difficult moments become. Physical health fuels mental strength. Sleep, nutrition, movement, and recovery directly impact your focus, patience, and decision-making. A trained mind doesn't ignore the body. It respects it, optimizing energy to respond effectively to challenges. Your environment shapes your energy. Surround yourself with clarity, minimal distractions, and people who elevate you. Toxicity, negativity, and chaos drain mental strength. Winners curate their inputs as carefully as their outputs. Every day presents a choice: react unconsciously or respond intentionally. A trained mind chooses the latter. You plan, anticipate, and execute with calm certainty. You don't let moods, emotions, or pressure dictate your actions. Consistency over time produces mastery. Excellence isn't a single heroic act. It is repeated deliberate effort. The habits you form today determine the level of performance you achieve tomorrow. Discipline compounds faster than talent ever can. Remember, high performance is sustainable when your mind, body, and energy are aligned. You become unstoppable when focus is unwavering, emotions are controlled, and actions are intentional. This is the mindset of every elite achiever. Advanced mental strategies separate ordinary performers from elite achievers. Your mind is your most powerful tool, and when trained, it can anticipate, adapt, and overcome challenges before they even arise. Visualization is not fantasy. It is mental rehearsal. Every successful person mentally practices success before achieving it physically. Set clear, measurable goals, write them down, break them into actionable steps. A trained mind doesn't wander aimlessly. It targets, focuses, and tracks progress. Every small win reinforces belief, building momentum toward larger victories. Confidence is developed, not inherited. It comes from preparation, repetition, and deliberate exposure to challenges. Every time you face fear intentionally and act anyway, your confidence grows exponentially. You don't wait for courage, you create it. Your inner dialogue is the foundation of all success. Replace doubt with strategy, fear with action, and hesitation with planning. Speak to yourself as a mentor, not a critic. The stories you tell yourself determine the life you create. Decision-making improves under pressure when your mind is trained. Chaos no longer intimidates you. It becomes an opportunity to demonstrate clarity, composure, and skill. A trained mind acts decisively, knowing when to adjust and when to persist. Visualization is a daily habit. Picture the outcomes you desire. Feel the success, the calm, the mastery. Your brain begins to treat these imagined successes as rehearsals, programming you to respond effectively in real scenarios. Advanced focus techniques allow you to enter a state of deep flow. Distractions fade, productivity skyrockets, creativity emerges. This is the natural state of a trained mind, a mind aligned with purpose and fully immersed in the present. Every setback is fuel. Every failure is data. Every criticism is insight. Winners analyze, adjust, and move forward with refined strategy. Emotional reactions are minimized. Rational, disciplined responses are maximized. Remember, elite performance is a lifestyle, not an event. Daily routines, deliberate practice, mental conditioning, and energy management compound into extraordinary results. You are no longer reacting to life. You are designing it. When you consistently apply these strategies, your mind becomes your greatest asset. You create clarity in chaos, power in pressure, and confidence in uncertainty. Success is no longer a goal. It is your natural state. Mastering influence begins internally. Before you can influence situations or people, you must influence yourself. Your thoughts, emotions, and habits dictate the energy you bring into every interaction. A trained mind radiates calm authority, inspiring trust without words. Communication is not just speaking. It is presence, clarity, and intention. The more disciplined and focused your mind, the more persuasive and confident your words become. People naturally respond to those who are consistent, composed, and aligned in thought and action. Every interaction is an opportunity to practice influence. Listen deeply, observe carefully, and respond with purpose. A trained mind knows when to act, when to guide, and when to remain silent. Silence often carries more weight than words. Trust is earned through consistency. Your actions must match your words. Discipline, reliability, and integrity build credibility. Influence is not manipulation. It is the natural result of mastery over self and alignment with others. Leadership is situational, but influence is universal. Whether in business, relationships, or life challenges, your ability to maintain clarity under pressure determines your effectiveness. A calm, decisive mind is magnetic and persuasive. Long-term impact requires patience. Immediate results are fleeting. Consistent guidance and disciplined action create lasting influence. People remember those who stand firm in principles and act with integrity, not those who react impulsively. Mentorship begins with self-mastery. When your mind is trained, your example teaches more than advice ever could. Influence flows naturally from competence, composure, and courage. People follow the energy you project more than the words you speak. Remember, leaving a legacy is about the impact you create daily. Influence is measured in how you elevate others, solve problems, and handle pressure. Your mindset shapes not only your life, but also the lives around you. Every decision, every action, every conversation becomes a chance to reinforce your influence. A trained mind identifies opportunities, acts intentionally, and communicates with clarity, creating ripple effects of growth and success. Sustain this practice, and influence becomes effortless. Your mental strength, clarity, and consistency make you a stabilizing force in any situation. People respect, follow, and learn from those who master themselves first. Emotional intelligence is the cornerstone of mastery. Your ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions, both your own and others, determines how effectively you navigate life. A trained mind doesn't react impulsively. It responds with insight and control. Conflict is inevitable. The difference between winners and the average person is how they handle it. A trained mind approaches disagreements with calm, clarity, and strategy. Emotions are acknowledged, not suppressed, and solutions are prioritized over ego. Stress is a test, not a threat. Your body and mind are designed to handle pressure. When you train your mind, challenges become opportunities to demonstrate patience, resilience, and composure. The calmer you remain, the more power you command. Empathy enhances influence. Understanding others' perspectives allows you to communicate more effectively, resolve conflicts, and build trust. A strong mind does not dominate. It connects, guides, and elevates. Boundaries protect your energy. A trained mind recognizes what to accept, what to delegate, and what to reject. Maintaining calm under pressure requires discipline over distractions and negativity. You cannot lead or influence effectively if your mind is cluttered. Every emotional response can be a tool or a trap. When frustration arises, a trained mind pauses, analyzes, and chooses a constructive action. When fear appears, it acknowledges it and moves forward with strategy. This is how unshakable calm is developed. Gratitude and reflection sharpen emotional intelligence. Regularly assessing your reactions, learning from experiences, and appreciating growth strengthens your mind's resilience. You begin to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Situations that once caused panic now become training ground. Every interaction, challenge, or setback is an opportunity to strengthen emotional mastery. You become the calm center in chaos, the anchor others naturally gravitate toward. Remember, unshakable calm is not absence of emotion, it is mastery over emotion. It is awareness, discipline, and intentional response. It is the hallmark of leaders, winners, and those who leave a lasting impact. When you consistently practice emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, and calm under pressure, your mind becomes a force that not only wins, but elevates every situation, every person, and every environment you enter. Focus is the ultimate competitive advantage. In a world full of distractions, those who can direct their attention intentionally achieve exponentially more. A trained mind chooses where to place energy, ignoring noise and triviality. Mental clarity is cultivated, not given. Every morning, set priorities. Identify what truly matters. Eliminate unnecessary inputs. When your mind is clear, decisions become faster, actions become more effective, and results multiply. Deep work requires preparation. Silence your notifications, limit interruptions, and commit blocks of time to uninterrupted effort. The mind strengthens with consistent focus, just as muscles grow through repeated exercise. Micro habits compound. 5 focused minutes today lead to hours of mastery over time. A trained mind leverages small, deliberate actions consistently, creating momentum that feels effortless yet powerful. Visualization enhances clarity. Imagine the steps, the processes, and the outcomes before you act. This mental rehearsal programs your brain for success, reduces errors, and builds confidence. Winners don't just react, they anticipate. Energy management is key. Productivity is not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Recognize your peak energy periods, align high-value tasks with them, and allow rest during low-energy times. This amplifies output while preserving mental strength. Avoid multitasking. It fragments focus. Concentrated attention on one meaningful task produces far greater results than scattered effort. A trained mind knows when to go deep and when to step back, balancing intensity with recovery. Reflection strengthens focus. At the end of each day, assess wins, challenges, and lessons. Adjust strategies. Reinforce productive habits. Gratitude for small victories reinforces momentum and mental clarity. Remember, sustained peak performance is built on a foundation of disciplined focus, intentional energy use, and consistent practice. The mind that masters attention creates extraordinary results, even in chaos. When you integrate these techniques daily, mental clarity becomes second nature. You think faster, act smarter, and remain unshakable under pressure. Your productivity, influence, and growth multiply naturally. Strategic goal setting separates wishful thinking from real achievement. A trained mind doesn't aimlessly chase outcomes. It defines them clearly, breaks them into actionable steps, and tracks progress relentlessly. Goals are not vague dreams. They are measurable, intentional, and time-bound. Time mastery begins with awareness. Every minute is an investment. Winners prioritize tasks that yield the highest returns on effort. Distractions, trivialities, and low-value activities are minimized. Discipline in time management compounds like interest over life. Design your life intentionally. Decide what success looks like in career, relationships, health, and personal growth. Align daily actions with long-term vision. Every small choice is a vote for the future you desire. Consistency transforms vision into reality. Accountability accelerates progress. Track results, measure performance, and adjust strategies. A trained mind doesn't blame circumstances. It seeks solutions and improvements. Self-awareness and feedback loops turn challenges into stepping stones. Prioritization is critical. Focus on high-impact activities. Delegate what doesn't require your attention, and eliminate what distracts. Energy spent on unimportant tasks is energy lost from building mastery, influence, and success. Momentum compounds. The first disciplined action leads to the next. The first small win fuels confidence, which fuels consistency, which fuels greater results. Momentum is the invisible engine behind extraordinary achievement. Visualization reinforces goals. Mentally rehearse success, anticipate obstacles, and prepare responses. This primes your brain for action, reduces stress, and accelerates execution. Winners see success before it manifests externally. Balance intensity with recovery. Mastery doesn't come from burnout. Rest, reflection, and renewal are as critical as hard work. A trained mind respects its limits while continually expanding them over time. Remember, designing a life of high achievement is not about luck or raw talent. It's about intentionality, discipline, and consistent execution. Your mindset, habits, and actions are the architecture of success. When you practice strategic goal setting, time mastery, and daily alignment with purpose, life stops being reactive. You start creating results on your terms, building momentum, and achieving extraordinary outcomes. Resilience under extreme pressure is the hallmark of a trained mind. Life will inevitably throw challenges, crises, and unexpected setbacks your way. Your ability to remain composed, focused, and solution-oriented determines not only outcomes, but also your growth trajectory. Stress is a signal, not a threat. It highlights areas that require attention, adaptation, and mastery. A trained mind observes stress without being consumed by it. You don't react impulsively, you respond strategically, calmly, and effectively. Preparation reduces pressure. Anticipate possible challenges, plan responses, and rehearse mental strategies. The more prepared your mind is, the less any high-stakes situation can shake your confidence or clarity. Breathing, focus, and mental grounding are tools of resilience. When pressure rises, a trained mind pauses, breathes deeply, and regains perspective. Clarity emerges when emotion is managed, and action becomes deliberate rather than reactive. High-stakes environments reveal true character. Winners don't crumble, they adapt. They find solutions where others see obstacles. They convert pressure into fuel, fear into focus, and uncertainty into strategy. Consistency under pressure builds trust with yourself and others. People notice composure. Results are amplified because your mind remains steady, decisions remain sharp, and execution remains flawless. Reflection and learning are continuous. Each high-pressure situation becomes a lesson, strengthening mental toughness for the next challenge. A trained mind treats every trial as training, not punishment. Remember, resilience is cultivated through daily discipline, deliberate practice, and mental preparation. It's not luck. It's habitual mastery of thought, emotion, and response. Those who train their minds consistently can sustain peak performance, even under extreme conditions. When you integrate advanced stress control, preparation, and composure into your daily life, high-stakes moments no longer intimidate you. You act with confidence, clarity, and strategic power, elevating not only results, but your entire trajectory of growth and success. Mastery of influence in high-pressure situations is a skill that separates good leaders from exceptional ones. A trained mind doesn't simply react to stress, it guides, persuades, and inspires even when stakes are high. Influence is rooted in calm confidence and clarity of thought. Decision-making under pressure is a discipline. When your mind is trained, you don't panic or rush. You analyze, prioritize, and act with precision. Every choice is aligned with purpose and long-term goals, rather than fear or impulse. Presence becomes your superpower. People instinctively follow those who remain composed, focused, and unwavering. A calm, confident demeanor communicates capability more effectively than words ever could. Strategic thinking multiplies your impact. In high-stakes scenarios, the ability to anticipate outcomes, evaluate risks, and choose the optimal path ensures that your actions create the maximum positive effect. A trained mind weighs options without hesitation. Consistency under pressure builds credibility. Whether in business, relationships, or personal challenges, those who maintain calm and deliver results become trusted leaders. Influence grows naturally from competence, composure, and reliability. Every interaction is an opportunity to leave a lasting impression. Your mindset, actions, and energy shape outcomes far beyond the immediate moment. A trained mind understands that influence is built incrementally and reinforced continuously. Long-term impact is the result of sustained mental discipline. Daily habits, repeated focus, and intentional practice strengthen your ability to perform and influence even in the toughest situations. Success becomes predictable when your mind is prepared. Remember, influence and impact are not about control over others. They are about mastery over yourself. The more you govern your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, the greater your ability to shape outcomes, inspire action, and create meaningful change. When you integrate high-pressure influence, advanced decision-making, and consistent mental discipline, your actions carry weight, your presence commands respect, and your results leave a legacy. Peak mental clarity is the cornerstone of unstoppable momentum. A trained mind is free from clutter, distractions, and reactive thinking. You see situations clearly, identify priorities instantly, and act decisively without hesitation. Advanced visualization amplifies results. Every goal, outcome, and scenario is mentally rehearsed in detail. You feel the success, anticipate obstacles, and program your brain to respond with precision. Winners don't wait for opportunity. They create it internally first. Momentum is sustained through deliberate focus and consistent action. Small, disciplined steps compound over time, building an unstoppable force. Each day becomes a reinforcement of habits, mindset, and mastery. The mind thrives under structure. Clear routines, deliberate planning, and reflection sharpen focus and reduce wasted energy. When your internal systems are optimized, your output multiplies effortlessly. Energy management fuels clarity. Your physical, emotional, and mental energy dictate the quality of your thinking and decision-making. A trained mind balances intensity with recovery, ensuring sustained high performance without burnout. Interruptions are inevitable, but distraction is optional. A trained mind protects attention fiercely, prioritizing high-value tasks and dismissing triviality. Focus is your invisible power. Once mastered, it drives results faster than raw talent ever could. Clarity under pressure turns challenges into opportunities. When stress arises, a calm, focused mind finds solutions, adapts strategies, and maintains momentum. Uncertainty becomes navigable, not paralyzing. Remember, unstoppable momentum is not about working harder. It's about thinking clearer, acting deliberately, and maintaining alignment between mind, body, and purpose. Every action reinforces the next, and success compounds naturally. When you integrate advanced visualization, peak mental clarity, and deliberate momentum practices into daily life, you move through challenges with ease, make high-impact decisions effortlessly, and elevate every area of life toward excellence. Mastery of focus under extreme distraction defines elite performance. The world will constantly compete for your attention, but a trained mind decides deliberately what deserves focus and what does not. Attention is not given, it is commanded. Chaos tests discipline. Noise, pressure, urgency, and unpredictability are not obstacles. They are environments where strong minds sharpen themselves. A trained mind does not wait for perfect conditions. It creates clarity even when circumstances are unstable. Elite performers simplify complexity. When distractions multiply, they narrow their focus to the single most important action. One clear priority cuts through confusion and restores momentum instantly. Mental anchors preserve stability. Breathing, posture, and awareness ground you when chaos rises. These anchors bring you back into control, allowing calm thinking to replace reactive emotion. Control of the body reinforces control of the mind. Resilience in chaos is built through exposure and repetition. Each challenge strengthens your ability to remain composed. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What once disrupted focus now sharpens it. Selective engagement is power. A trained mind does not respond to every stimulus. It ignores provocation, filters information, and conserves energy for what truly matters. Mental endurance is what sustains excellence over time. A trained mind is not just powerful in short bursts. It remains steady, focused, and disciplined day after day. Endurance is built through consistency, not intensity alone. Elite performers understand pacing. They know when to push and when to preserve energy. A trained mind avoids extremes, maintaining balance so progress remains sustainable. Burnout is not strength. Longevity is. Self-talk shapes outcomes. Under fatigue or doubt, a trained mind speaks with clarity and control. Inner dialogue becomes supportive, strategic, and focused on solutions. You guide yourself forward instead of criticizing yourself backward. Adaptability strengthens endurance. Conditions change, plans evolve, and obstacles appear without warning. A strong mind adjusts without frustration. Flexibility keeps momentum alive when rigid thinking would cause stagnation. Discomfort becomes familiar territory. Growth often feels uncomfortable, but a trained mind does not resist it. Instead, it recognizes discomfort as proof of expansion. What others avoid, you learn to navigate calmly. Routine reinforces resilience. Simple daily practices, focus blocks, reflection, recovery, and intentional rest create a rhythm that supports long-term performance. Structure reduces mental strain and preserves clarity. Confidence compounds through reliability. Each day you show up, execute, and follow through, trust in yourself deepens. That trust becomes unshakable confidence, even when results take time to appear. Remember, endurance is not about never feeling tired. It's about continuing with discipline despite it. A trained mind respects limits while steadily extending them. Progress becomes inevitable when persistence is intelligent. When you cultivate mental endurance, adaptive thinking, and disciplined self-talk, success stops feeling fragile. You move forward steadily, unaffected by setbacks, distractions, or doubt, building results that last. Identity-level mindset is where lasting transformation begins. A trained mind does not rely on motivation alone. It operates from identity. You don't try to act disciplined, you become disciplined. Actions become natural expressions of who you believe you are. Beliefs shape behavior. When you see yourself as focused, resilient, and capable, your choices align automatically. A trained mind upgrades beliefs intentionally, replacing limitation with possibility and doubt with certainty. Rewiring the mind requires repetition and awareness. Each thought you reinforce strengthens neural pathways. Over time, confidence replaces hesitation, clarity replaces confusion, and calm replaces reactivity. This is how identity is rebuilt from the inside out. Elite performers think long-term. They don't chase instant validation. They invest daily in habits, skills, and mindset that compound quietly. A trained mind understands that consistency at the identity level produces unstoppable results. Language reinforces identity. The way you speak to yourself defines your self-image. A trained mind uses precise, empowering language, focused on growth, responsibility, and control. Words become tools for self-mastery. You rise to the standards you set. When your identity demands excellence, excuses disappear. Discipline feels aligned, not forced. You protect your time, energy, and focus because they are part of who you are. Challenges no longer threaten you, they confirm you. Obstacles validate strength, pressure reveals capability, and setbacks refine identity. A trained mind interprets difficulty as evidence of evolution. Legacy thinking shifts your focus from short-term wins to lasting impact. A trained mind looks beyond immediate results and considers how actions today shape influence tomorrow. True success is measured not only by what you achieve, but by what continues after you. Vision gives direction to effort. When your long-term purpose is clear, daily decisions become simpler and more intentional. A trained mind aligns choices with values, ensuring progress moves toward something meaningful and enduring. Impact is built through consistency and character. People remember how you show up, how you handle pressure, and how you treat others. A calm, disciplined presence leaves impressions that outlast achievements. Service strengthens legacy. Influence grows when your success elevates others. A trained mind understands that leadership is not dominance. It is guidance, example, and empowerment. When others grow through you, your impact multiplies. Responsibility deepens purpose. Knowing that your actions affect more than just yourself sharpens discipline and integrity. A trained mind acts with awareness, choosing excellence even when no one is watching. Time becomes a tool, not an enemy. Long-term thinkers invest patiently, build steadily, and avoid shortcuts that compromise values. Legacy is not rushed. It is constructed layer by layer. Your standards define your imprint. What you tolerate, what you protect, and what you consistently uphold become part of your signature. A trained mind lives by principles that remain firm regardless of circumstances. Remember, a powerful legacy is not created by moments of greatness alone, but by a lifetime of intentional decisions. The calm you embody, the discipline you demonstrate, and the values you live by ripple outward long after the moment passes. When you adopt legacy thinking, every action gains weight and meaning. You stop reacting to life and start shaping it, leaving behind influence, strength, and purpose that continue to grow beyond you. Self-discipline is the invisible structure behind every form of greatness. A trained mind does not depend on emotion or circumstance to act. It moves by principle, routine, and commitment. Discipline is not restriction, it is freedom from chaos and inconsistency. Consistency outperforms intensity. Small, repeated actions carried out daily build strength, clarity, and momentum. A trained mind values reliability over bursts of motivation, knowing that progress is earned through steady execution. Habits shape identity. What you practice regularly becomes who you are. When discipline is embedded into daily routines, excellence becomes automatic. You no longer debate whether to act. You act because it aligns with your standards. Delay strengthens control. A trained mind resists instant gratification in favor of long-term reward. Each time you choose patience over impulse, your self-command grows stronger. Discipline compounds quietly but powerfully. Environment supports discipline. Structure your surroundings to reduce friction and eliminate unnecessary temptation. A trained mind designs systems that make the right actions easier and the wrong actions harder. Accountability reinforces consistency. Measuring progress, tracking habits, and reflecting daily keep discipline aligned with purpose. A trained mind doesn't hide from feedback. It uses it to refine performance. Discipline under pressure defines mastery. When motivation fades or conditions become difficult, routines hold you steady. This is where true consistency is revealed and strengthened. Remember, greatness is not achieved by extraordinary effort once. It is achieved by ordinary effort sustained over time. Self-discipline is the skill that turns intention into reality and vision into results. When discipline becomes part of who you are, momentum sustains itself. Focus sharpens, confidence stabilizes, and success becomes predictable rather than accidental. Mastery of habits is what transforms discipline into ease. A trained mind no longer struggles to stay consistent. Its systems carry the weight. Habits remove decision fatigue and protect focus, allowing energy to be directed toward high-value thinking and action. Elite performers rely on rituals, not motivation. Morning and evening routines create structure, stability, and mental clarity. These rituals signal the mind when to focus, when to perform, and when to recover. Start small to stay consistent. Habits succeed when they are sustainable. A trained mind builds momentum through achievable actions, then compounds them over time. Progress that feels manageable becomes progress that lasts. Habit stacking reinforces success. Pairing new behaviors with established routines strengthens consistency. When discipline is integrated seamlessly into daily life, resistance disappears and execution becomes automatic. Recovery is part of excellence. Rest is not weakness. It is strategy. Elite minds protect sleep, reflection, and downtime to sustain long-term performance. Burnout is avoided through intentional recovery, not avoidance of effort. Awareness keeps habits aligned. Regularly review what serves you and what drains you. A trained mind refines routines continuously, ensuring growth remains balanced and intentional. Identity sustains excellence. When habits align with who you believe you are, consistency feels natural. You act not because you must, but because it reflects your standards and self-image. Remember, habits are the quiet force behind extraordinary lives. They shape days, define character, and determine outcomes. Master the small daily actions, and excellence becomes inevitable. When you design rituals that support focus, recovery, and growth, success stops feeling forced. You move with rhythm, clarity, and confidence, sustaining high performance without burnout. Mental renewal is essential for sustained mastery. A trained mind understands that growth is not linear. It requires periods of recalibration, reflection, and renewal. Progress accelerates when the mind is refreshed, not exhausted. Stagnation begins when awareness fades. Routine without reflection leads to autopilot living. A trained mind regularly pauses to assess direction, purpose, and alignment, ensuring actions continue to serve long-term vision. Renewal does not mean stopping. It means refining. Adjust strategies, update goals, and release habits that no longer serve growth. Evolution requires letting go of outdated patterns to make room for higher levels of performance. Curiosity fuels expansion. A trained mind remains open to learning, questioning assumptions, and exploring new perspectives. Growth thrives where curiosity is protected and complacency is challenged. Periods of stillness sharpen insight. Silence, solitude, and intentional disengagement allow clarity to emerge. A trained mind values these moments as strategic tools, not escapes from responsibility. Adaptation prevents stagnation. As environments change, successful minds evolve with them. Flexibility ensures relevance, resilience, and continued momentum in an ever-shifting world. Renewal strengthens resilience. When the mind is cared for, challenges feel lighter and solutions become clearer. Mental freshness restores confidence, creativity, and strategic thinking. Remember, mastery is not a destination. It is an ongoing process of refinement and renewal. Those who sustain excellence know when to push forward and when to recalibrate. When you integrate mental renewal into your rhythm of growth, progress becomes sustainable, creativity remains alive, and evolution never stops. Wisdom is the refinement of experience. A trained mind does not rush to react. It pauses, observes, and chooses responses grounded in perspective. With time and reflection, clarity replaces urgency, and calm becomes the default state. Long-term success demands emotional balance. Highs and lows are inevitable, but a trained mind remains steady through both. Detachment from extremes preserves clarity and protects decision-making. Calm is not indifference. It is control. Perspective transforms challenges. When you zoom out, temporary obstacles lose their power. A trained mind understands that most difficulties are moments, not definitions. This awareness prevents panic and sustains confidence. Patience amplifies results. Great outcomes often require time, repetition, and endurance. A trained mind respects the process, trusting consistent effort over immediate gratification. What grows slowly often lasts longest. Silence sharpens wisdom. Listening more than speaking, observing more than reacting, allows insight to deepen. A calm mind absorbs information fully before acting, making responses more precise and effective. Simplicity clarifies life. Wisdom removes unnecessary complexity, focusing energy on what truly matters. Inner peace is not the absence of challenges, it is stability within them. A trained mind remains grounded regardless of external conditions. When circumstances shift, your center holds steady. Clarity in uncertainty comes from trust in yourself. A trained mind does not need all answers before moving forward. It acts with intention, adjusts with awareness, and remains calm through the unknown. Detachment strengthens power. Releasing the need to control every outcome frees mental energy and sharpens focus. You engage fully, yet remain unattached to results, allowing better decisions and deeper peace. Presence anchors peace. When attention rests fully in the moment, anxiety loses its grip. A trained mind returns to the present again and again, where clarity and control always exist. Emotional regulation sustains balance. Feelings are acknowledged, not suppressed. A calm mind observes emotion without being ruled by it, responding with wisdom rather than impulse. Stillness is strength. In quiet moments, insight deepens and intuition sharpens. Purpose-driven living gives direction to inner peace. A trained mind does not move randomly. It moves with meaning. When actions are guided by purpose, effort feels lighter and progress feels fulfilling. Meaning sustains motivation. Goals without purpose eventually feel empty, but purpose energizes even the most demanding paths. A trained mind connects daily effort to a deeper why, transforming routine into contribution. Alignment sharpens fulfillment. When values, goals, and actions match, internal resistance disappears. A trained mind experiences coherence, thinking, feeling, and acting in unity. Service expands significance. Living beyond self-interest deepens satisfaction and strengthens impact. A trained mind understands that fulfillment grows when success benefits others, not just the self. Clarity of purpose simplifies decisions. When you know what matters most, distractions lose power. A trained mind filters choices through purpose, conserving energy and maintaining focus. Growth becomes meaningful when aligned with values. Advancement is no longer just accumulation, it is expression of identity and contribution. A trained mind grows not to impress, but to serve and evolve. Purpose stabilizes resilience. When challenges arise, meaning provides strength. A trained mind endures difficulty because it sees beyond the moment, anchored by long-term intention. Remember, fulfillment is not found by chasing outcomes. It is built by living in alignment with purpose daily. Peace, success, and meaning converge when your path reflects who you truly are. When you integrate purpose-driven living into every decision, life feels intentional, progress feels rewarding, and success becomes deeply satisfying. Integration is the ultimate mastery. A trained mind does not compartmentalize excellence. It blends calm, discipline, focus, and purpose into one seamless way of living. Every action, thought, and decision aligns with long-term vision. Consistency across domains amplifies impact. Physical energy, mental clarity, emotional intelligence, and strategic thinking work together, creating harmony that multiplies results. A trained mind sees life as an interconnected system, not isolated events. Habits become architecture. Daily routines, reflection, and intentional practice are the scaffolding on which performance, resilience, and influence are built. Integration ensures these systems reinforce each other, rather than compete for attention. Adaptation becomes effortless. When all elements of mastery are synchronized, shifting circumstances no longer destabilize you. A trained mind adjusts dynamically, maintaining performance, calm, and focus even under stress. Decision-making reaches peak efficiency. When clarity, purpose, and discipline are integrated, choices become instinctive yet strategic. You act decisively with minimal hesitation and maximum alignment with long-term objectives. Energy flows naturally. Mental, emotional, and physical resources are managed intentionally, sustaining peak performance without burnout. Integration allows effort to feel directed rather than scattered. Presence deepens influence. A unified mind communicates confidence, authority, and calm. People sense alignment in those who live integrated mastery. It inspires trust, cooperation, and admiration. Remember, true mastery is not about excelling in one area. It is about harmonizing all areas. When focus, resilience, discipline, and purpose are integrated, life becomes fluid, intentional, and impactful. When you practice integration daily, performance, influence, and fulfillment are no longer separate. They are one continuous flow. You move through challenges effortlessly, make high-level decisions naturally, and leave a lasting mark through aligned action. Legacy-level thinking elevates mastery beyond personal achievement. A trained mind does not only aim for success, it designs impact that outlives the individual. Your actions, influence, and decisions ripple far beyond today. Sustaining mastery across decades requires foresight. Long-term thinking guides daily choices, ensuring that energy, discipline, and focus build not just temporary wins, but enduring systems of excellence. A trained mind plays the long game. Mentorship amplifies influence. Sharing knowledge, modeling behavior, and guiding others strengthens both personal mastery and collective impact. True leaders leave structures behind that continue to grow without their constant input. Ethics and integrity are non-negotiable. Legacy is built not just on results, but on how those results are achieved. A trained mind maintains alignment with values even under pressure, creating respect and trust that endure. Continuous evolution prevents stagnation. Mastery is not static. Your skills, mindsets, and influence must adapt to remain relevant. A trained mind treats life as a dynamic system, always improving, always learning. If you found value in this audiobook and want to continue mastering your mind, building unshakable focus, and creating lasting impact, subscribe now to the Motivational Audiobook Spot. Hit the notification bell to never miss a part and turn daily learning into lifelong transformation. Every episode is crafted to elevate your mindset, sharpen your discipline, and empower you to live intentionally. Remember, transformation begins with consistent action. Subscribe today and take the first step toward the life you're capable of creating. Your journey to mastery starts now. Join us.